The final quarter of the season begins tonight. Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Broadcasting live from Highmark Stadium on the south side. This is USL Soccer on the USL's YouTube channel and riverhounds.com. I'm Matt Geica. Gene Klein is alongside. We're bringing you the play-by-play and the analysis, respectively, of yet another high-leverage match here at Highmark Stadium and in general for the Riverhounds. Winners of 2 in a row, still in that 6th and final playoff position in the USL's Eastern Conference, but with just 3 of their final 7 matches here at home. Gene, the urgency is high to take advantage of this opportunity.
This is it. This is a crucial game for both sides, Pittsburgh and Charlotte, Matt. But for the Riverhounds, as you said, playing the majority of the games on the road, they have to make up their points at home, and so this is a big 6-point swing for both sides.
Fortunately for the Riverhounds, they have been good, and to their credit, they have been good here on the familiar surface. 6-2-3 in USL play. When you factor in US Open Cup, it's 8-3-3 for Mark Steffen's team. And speaking of Mark Steffen's, he coaches against not his old franchise technically, but he was with the Charlotte Eagles, now defunct, for 18 years before coming to Pittsburgh. The Riverhounds went down to Charlotte a couple of months ago and came out on the losing end 2-1 to this expansion independence club. So an opportunity to make up for some mistakes they made down there in surrendering a 1-goal halftime lead.
Yeah, they need to get a little retribution here from that game. I mean, that was a tough loss. That was a difficult one of several weeks ago, and certainly the Hounds have to pick up 3 points here.
Helping in that effort will be the man you see on your screen right now. That's number 13, Ryan Thompson, making his first start for the Hounds, first action for the Hounds since May 23rd. Since then, he's been part of the Jamaican national team at the Copa America and the Gold Cup. At the Gold Cup, he was a hero for Jamaica, coming in as an injury replacement and leading the Reggae Boys to their first Gold Cup final before eventually falling to Mexico. He's had a bad knee, a swollen knee for the last couple of weeks here, Gene, but he is relatively pain-free. What can he add to the Riverhounds' defensive efforts?
Well, he can add an enormous amount of experience and leadership and keeping the team organized that I think that we have lacked a little bit of cohesion in the back, and as a result have conceded out, I'm sure the coaching staff would agree, way too many goals throughout the season. That lift from that international experience is you really can't measure that. That's that's just an enormous experience for him to be able to beat the United States, unfortunately,
yes.
Just play well at that international stage. It's just tremendous accomplishment. And he's going to bring that experience tonight to the Riverhounds.
So he's back. Libo Maloto, the man you see there, is also in the starting lineup. The central attacking midfielder Maloto has had 2 games this year in which he has contributed to 3 Riverhounds goals, had a goal and 2 assists last week. We'll talk more about him after the national anthem.
At the twilights last week, who stretched and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets rattled, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job, Ariel. And starting tonight for your
As I was saying before, the anthem, Libo Maloto, Gene, is is a third prong of this attack that the Riverhounds have been looking for to be more consistent. They've gotten all that they could expect, and then some from Rob Vincent. Second in the league in goals with 17. Kevin Kerr leads the league in assists with 9. Maloto has been here and there. He's been a little more inconsistent, so we'll see what he can bring tonight as we go into the starting lineup. There is Ryan Thompson, and before we do talk about that, actually, what do you think Maloto needs to do to be more consistent, to show up on a more game-by-game basis?
Well, I think we have. Yeah, we'll talk about. We've talked about this before, but the Hounds have to be more than a two-pronged attack, which is Vincent and Kerr. And I think the coaching staff has been counting on Lebo to do a little bit more. I just think that he needs a little bit more confidence to assert himself. He has to put his stamp on the game. He's been maybe a little too content to just be a possession player, which is fine at times, but we need him to do a little bit more. We need him to stretch defenses. We need him to be in support of Michael Green up top, or whoever it is, the front runner, and lay off some great assists like he did against Toronto.
And there is Mike Green coming up here on your screen. The lone forward, Gene, Mark Steffens has called him the false forward, the false number 9 a couple of times. Could you maybe explain for the viewers what that means?
Well, I think that Mike Green is so versatile that we've seen him play a number of positions throughout the year, and he's the kind of player that probably isn't the true target forward. I know that he's played a lot there in the past, but I think when we look at some of the other teams, they have more of a player who's more natural at that position, and Greeny can do it. He's done a terrific job for the Riverhounds, but certainly he's doing it on his willpower and on his intelligence and on his work rate.
He does seem to be a smart player, an adjustable player. He has been all over the field for the Riverhounds in his several years here in Pittsburgh. The Hounds will be in their alternate blue and black striped kits. Charlotte, the visitors, in predominantly white with the blue trim. The Independents come into this match in 8th place. I told you that Pittsburgh is in 6th at the top of the broadcast. The Riverhounds with 31 points, 9 wins, 8 losses, 4 draws. For Charlotte, entering this evening on a 5-game unbeaten streak, 2-0-3, 6-6-7 on the season. They're first in USL, so 6 points out of that final spot. And they're going to be hunting all 3. I would imagine tonight we're going to see a very aggressive Charlotte Independence team, just because with this home and home against the Hounds, it's a enormous opportunity for them as well.
Yeah, Charlotte cannot afford to say, all right, we have to sit back and try to steal a point on the road. They need 3 points. They do have a couple games in hand on the Riverhounds yet, but they're playing really, really good soccer. I mean, they're as you said, they're on a 5-game unbeaten streak. They haven't lost in over a month since a 1-0 loss to Louisville. So they're going to be a team that's going to try to take advantage of their strengths and certainly try to get on the board early. So I do not expect them to sit back, I got to think. And knowing, their head coach, Mike Jeffries, who has a lot of experience MLS in this league, and he's going to make sure that they're well prepared and they're going at it.
Here is Rob Vincent, second in the league in goals, 17. He crossed that one, but too close to the keeper, and that's grabbed by John Berner, who is questionable with fractured cheekbone coming into this one. He's wearing a mask, as you can see, like you sometimes see basketball players wear with facial injuries.
Yeah, and and I'm sure he's been training with that, and he's going. He's had as much time as he possibly can, but still he has to be uncomfortable with that. That can't not be the best thing for a goalkeeper, and I'm sure that he wants to get that thing off as soon as possible.
Vision's so important. Also, it's a hot night in Pittsburgh, mid-80s for the kickoff, as the throw-in will be handled by Patrick Slogic. Slogic, Mishak, Bilal Duckett, and Henry Kalungi are the back line, make up the back line for the Independents. In the midfield, former Hound Andrew Ribeiro played 7 matches for Pittsburgh last season. He's there with Rafael Cox, Enzo Martinez, and Paolo Del Piccolo. Vincent, diagonal, too far for Kerr. And the two forwards in this 4-4-2 formation for Charlotte, Tomasz Zahorski and Dominique Badji, recently a member of the USL Player of the Week with 2 goals against New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, so a few players we're familiar with. One is Anthony Ribeiro, as we mentioned, who was with the Hounds last year. The other one, Henry Kalungi, is a veteran player who's been in the league for a number of years and was one of the key stalwarts of the Richmond back four for a long time. So he has a lot of experience. I believe he's Ugandan international, and so he will help solidify that back four.
On the year, Charlotte has essentially broken even at 6-6-7, 7 being the draw column. They've also nearly broken even in goals for and against. Vincent couldn't thread that one through to Maloto. 24 scored for Charlotte, 23 allowed for the Riverhounds. Once again, remaining the highest scoring team in USL, 45 goals on the season. They've allowed 35. But the last 2 matches, 1 total given up by the Riverhounds, and the only one that was allowed, in fact, was a stoppage time strike by Toronto FC 2 last week up in Vaughan, Ontario, as the Riverhounds completed the 3-game sweep of Toronto.
Matt, we talked about Lebo Maloto at the outset of the broadcast, and that a couple of runs that he's made already. That one initially right before this free kick. That's the kind of stuff that we need to see from him. We need to see him be aggressive and assertive, get off the ball a little bit, and stretch.
It's Mike Green. Oh my!
Green.
It was close to a handball by the keeper, Burner, but he avoided it.
Kevin Kerr pleading for a handball, but not going to get that one.
He does not there. Martinez into the Hounds box.
But again, Maloto very, very aggressive and caused the center back to pull out to track him, and then Mike Green went right through the center of the play. So that's encouraging for me, because we've seen Lebo maybe just content to just stay behind and knock the ball around, and at that position where he is behind the forward, he needs to again put a stamp on the game a little bit more, either with off the ball runs or some creative passing or dribbling. He certainly has that ability. He did it against Toronto this past weekend, and he's off to a promising start.
Jerome Mishak gave that one away for Charlotte, and it's Stephen Okai emerging from a pile with the ball. Vincent out wide, Willie Hunt, the Hounds back, who has played in 20 of 21 matches this season. Fed it to Vincent, to the middle, Mike Green. Plays it right wing, Kevin Kerr. And it's Kerr cutting infield. Kerr on target, and oh my, collision. And that's got to be scary for Charlotte and John Burner, who we already told you about his
Robbie
injury.
Vincent's bleeding in the back of his head, too.
Yeah, Vincent may have taken the worst of it, in fact. And he is chatting it up with Bilal Duckett as they are separated by the head referee, Yaroslav Veril. Vincent jogging back, still talking.
Here it is again, Kevin Kerr taking the space, hitting it in swinger, and yeah, he is. Robbie's trying to get across the defender, and he looks like he pushed him a little bit, maybe almost an elbow to the head. And I don't know if that's what caused the bleeding, or if Rob caught the keeper's cleat when he went down. But that's that's a run so and it's coming down pretty good here as we see this.
A third look for you
again. Yeah, I think it might have been he caught the keeper's cleat. He was going up for the ball, but certainly he was not intending on going up with John Burner. There was that. They were both tied up together, and it knocked him down into the goalkeeper. And he's going to have to get patched up before he gets back into the game.
Slogic couldn't keep the ball in play, but the Independents have been awarded a corner kick, our first of the evening. Off the deflection, I think Kerr believed that Slogic touched it last. He did not. So here we go. Low corner, and there's Kerr to clean it up.
Yeah, very alert by Kevin, because that was a tough ball. It was skipping through, and it's not out of danger yet.
Rafael Cox sent it back into the mix, and eventually squirts out of play. Throw in Charlotte. Mike Jeffries, normally the head coach for the Independents. He was ejected last week against New York Red Bulls 2 as the Independents in New York wrapped up a home-and-home. So acting head coach is Troy Lesesny. His assistants are Philip Poole and John Litton. Charlotte Long, a city that has supported its soccer clubs, whether it be the Eagles or now the Independents.
Yeah, long history in Charlotte, and some leftovers from the Eagle organization, including the general manager Tom Ingstrom, who was for years working hand in hand with Mark Steffens with the Eagles, and now he has taken over as general manager of the Independents.
Exactly. Steffens is the Hounds coach. Nico Cottage, Josh Reif, the assistants.
And with Mark too. Want to say hello to his mom, Florence Steffens, who Mark, I know she's recovering a little bit in a New York hospital from an illness, and our thoughts and prayers are with her. I hope that she gets back home real soon, but we know she's watching. So, Florence, from Matt, myself, the entire your son Mark, and the entire Riverhound organization, get well soon.
Yes,
and get home.
Thanks for watching tonight. Hope we can make you feel a little bit better. Hope the Hounds can make you feel a little bit better with a nice performance on the home pitch. A header in the box, and that's not going to count. Rising up to get it, Dominique Badji, but
and Mark's mom has a birthday coming up, so we gotta get that one. So happy birthday, Mrs. Steffens.
We won't mention what birthday it is if she doesn't want us to.
I don't think so. No.
So foul against the Independents, but Charlotte has possession once again, and it's Badji with the ball at his feet. His 2 goals 2 weeks ago against Red Bulls 2 are his only goals of the season. Slogic trying to switch it up, went right over the head of Rob Vincent, who is now heavily bandaged. As long as his legs are okay, he should be fine out there. Tough individual and one of the better shooters, if not the best shooter in and around the penalty area in this league.
He's had a phenomenal season, and he's absolutely been dynamic for the Riverhounds and just keeps it going. I mean, he gets another one in Toronto last week, and a great look from Lebo, a little bit too far with that one. But again, he looks much different than some of the other games, and he has to maintain that consistency, I think. And it's great to see him looking forward and trying to slot those balls.
Del Piccolo to Badji. Independents work it toward the middle. Enzo Martinez wants a foul. He's not going to get it. Cross to the back post. And there was Matt Dahlman.
Great close from Robbie Vincent. Came a long way to close that shot down. I think the Independents was looking for a foul earlier on Robbie, but the referee wisely kept the advantage for Charlotte.
Independents were in possession of the ball, and they continue to be, as much as it's the near side attack for Jerome Mishak. Couldn't hook up with Badji, but Badji closes quickly on Kevin Kerr. It's off Badji's foot last and out for the throw. The Riverhounds have not won 3 in a row in league all year. This is their second 2-game winning streak. They defeated Wilmington 3-0 here 14 days ago, and then went up to Toronto and got their 3rd road victory of the season. They have won 3 in a row previously, but that was counting U.S. Open Cup, where they made a run to the 4th round.
Riverhounds have had a nice go with Toronto. I mean, that's been a good. They have not. They have pretty much owned them, and hopefully we can keep that going here tonight against Charlotte.
It's the start of a home and home between these two teams that will wrap up the 3-match season series. On the far wing, that's Kalunji. As Kevin Kerr tracks this one, but he cannot get it away from Slogic, who lays it off to Dominique Badji. To the middle, there's Enzo Martinez. Plays it over the head of the on-charging Rafael Cox. Unable to catch up to it and keep it in. Pittsburgh gets the throw.
Don't forget about our new #1 Cochrane Fan of the Week contest. Post pics of yourself.
If you're wondering, Paul Child not with us. He's on vacation this week.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, he was honored here on Paul Child Night. The Steel Army supporters section was renamed the Paul Child Stand.
And so as a result of that, he gets a vacation.
He gets a home game off.
Yeah.
Baji, hard shot right on, and Thompson has to make his first save, and it's a good one. An elevated drive, and Thompson got his hands up to defend himself and keep this one level. Green seeking to track it down. Out is Burner to handle. We'll have a look at that Thompson save once again. A loose ball in the penalty arc. Came to Baji, and a strong left foot.
But Ryan did well. Straight at him, but still not an easy one. It was well struck.
Here's the flick on header by Zahorski. Martinez nearly there to catch up. Normally the Independents employ a pair of Martinezes, but one of them, Alex Martinez, a couple of goals, couple of assists on the season, is working through a visa application issue, so a break for the Hounds that he's not available today. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it's nearly a full roster. Just Drew Russell is on the injured list with a bothersome knee. Vinny Dantas is healthy. He's available off the bench. Riverhounds also have their newest acquisition and former member of the Charlotte Independents, Ben Noonan, who has a history with Mark Steffens in Charlotte with the Eagles.
Yeah, that'll be a solid pickup for the Riverhounds here as we enter this final stretch.
He's a defender, by the way. He was part of the Colorado Rapids organization earlier this year as well in MLS. Baji's pass was intercepted by the defensive midfielder and team captain Danny Earls. Kerr shielded off by the rangy 6'6" Patrick Slogic, formerly of the Rochester Rhinos. The Rhinos, you may know if you follow this league, are in first place this year. They have but one loss to their record, and guess who handed it to them? It was the Charlotte Independents, 4-2. Rochester's barely given up anything this year, but Charlotte got 4 down in North Carolina.
And Rochester just says has been very stingy. I think they lead the league in clean sheets.
Kerr, a 1-on-2 battle, and it's possessed by Mishak. Sends it up through the center of the pitch. Fajiro Okiyama gets ahead to it. Last time these two teams played, Okiyama was employed as the Riverhounds' lone forward. He hooked up with Maloto for a beautiful goal that had the Hounds on top. Maloto was taken out there with a legal tackle, according to the head referee, but Vincent turns the corner, fakes it. He's faced up by a couple of members of the Independents. Look to feed it through, and it's broken up. Running with it now on the near sideline, it's Baji. He's handled it quite a bit in the opening 15 minutes. Vincent overtook one of the visitors, who is still down, waiting for a call. That's Zahorski. He won't get it. Riverhounds build up possession with a quick 1 and 2 touch game that they're known for under Mark Steffens.
Yeah, we're saying Baji's been very active, Matt. He's out here on the left side right now, but he's certainly going underneath or stretching the defense as much as possible with Martinez, Zahorski, all very, very active, pushing up forward.
Through ball was a good one onto the foot of Martinez. Plays it well behind Baji, and that's an unforced turnover by the Independents. Interesting fact for the Independents, they have employed 3 former Riverhounds keepers this year, including Matt Lampson. There's a foul against Maloto. Matt Lampson was a lone goalie earlier this season for the Riverhounds from the Columbus Crew. He actually played at Charlotte, and he has suited up for Charlotte a couple of times recently. But Michael Lish and Hunter Gilstrap have also played multiple games for this club.
And now we have Ben Newman, so it's
right. Swap meet.
Yeah, seriously, it's a strange little combination that's going on. Yeah, I mean, especially seeing Hunter Gilstrap and Michael Lish there, of course, have been our 2 keepers for the last 2 seasons.
Mike
we've seen.
Golish was a member of the Houston Dynamo organization, played very well late last season here.
And of course, Hunter Gilstrap, and a mainstay with the Riverhounds for a number of years. Goalkeeper of the year, USL Goalkeeper of the Year a number of years ago, and just a solid guy to have around.
There's a back heel flick from Maloto. It's a good one.
Oh,
Kerr
well done.
creating some space, and his shot is blocked. That was Mishak getting in the way. So crafty, Kevin Kerr, there in that tight space. Very patient, very poised. Wasn't in a hurry. Made his move and nearly got it through. And I played up Kerr's assist, but he also has 8 goals on the season, not to be forgotten. Baji driving it wide off the volley.
Again, there's Baji. I mean, the Hounds have to know where he's at all the time. He's extremely active. He lines up here on the left side, but he's certainly cutting in and going forward. They're looking for him to try to get behind Matty Dolman. Matty Dolman's going to have to be a little bit careful how and when he pushes up. So he's going to have to choose those runs carefully, and Fujiro Okiyama's going to have to be aware of that, because if they can catch us on a counter by playing behind him.
Another beautiful evening in Pittsburgh. If you're not here watching at Highmark, we thank you for clicking on riverhounds.com or the USL's YouTube page. All regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in beautiful high definition on YouTube in the USL this year. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today, youtube.com/USL for United Soccer League. Green lays it off. Willie Hunt, the former Tampa Bay Rowdy, who was signed just prior to the season, knocked it up to Vincent, right back through Hunt. Anthony Arena will play it back to Ryan Thompson. Anthony Arena played with Ben Noonan at Wake Forest, in fact. They were teammates for the Demon Deacons. Okiyama.
Their coach, Jay Vidovich, is now in this league with Portland Timbers, too. So big Wake connection. Of course, they've been an outstanding program in the country. I mean, for a number of years under Jay Vidovich, and he's put a lot of players into pro soccer, USL, MLS, and now he's one of the key guys with Portland.
Oh, Maloto nearly stepped by. He had a soft touch on that pass from Hunt, but it skidded a little bit too far on him. It's a much faster surface than what the Hounds played on last week up in Vaughan, Ontario at the Ontario Soccer Center. That's artificial surface,
Yeah, a little
but
bit
it's
of push
slow.
there on Michael Green on the back. I tried.
Green got shoved.
Yeah, some things, defenders try to get away with that little bump, hoping the referee couldn't see that one, but that was a bit too obvious.
Bilal Duckett got both hands extended. A former Eagle himself. Quite a few members of the Eagles on this Independence roster, as one might imagine.
Yeah, the Eagles had such a long run there, and of course so many of those members, so many team members were key parts of their community, so it's not surprising they have a lot of guys with Eagle connections on this team.
Duckett, the ball at his right foot. Charlotte building it up, or at least trying to here. The open man is Del Piccolo in the middle. Knocks it out to Slogic. Del Piccolo through and between a couple of his teammates, Martinez and Zahorski. So Okiyama will gladly take it.
I think the Riverhounds are going to have to try to settle things down a little bit and play balls on the ground like we just saw there to Kevin Kerr.
This is not a very aerial-minded Riverhounds team, with the exception of some diagonal balls they send to opposite wings at times, but for the most part, it's like this.
That's a good ball
Along
from
the turf.
Matty
Dolman serves it in. Mishak knocked it away for Charlotte. Del Piccolo tripped up. Maloto with hands in the air, but it was leg-on-leg contact. No hard feelings there. Just a couple of fouls to each side.
Yeah, I think when the Hounds go directly, as we've seen maybe a little bit too much, going route one right over top, I mean, that's not the Michael Green strength. He's, as we said, he's not the prototypical target player who's going to win everything in the air and knock balls back. Not that he can't do that, but that's not his strength of his game. His strength of his game is going to read the game. He's going to be clever. He's going to be good with his feet. And they got to kind of find his feet a little bit rather than just having him chase the game. That's not going to be productive for us. And I also think for, with Kevin Kerr and Robbie Vincent as active as they are, they got to see the ball too, and then they can make the game a little bit more.
Trying to find some space was Andrew Ribeiro, the old Hound, to the corner and then served in by Slogic and deflected off a Charlotte head out for a goal kick. A half chance for the visitors. No really good ones yet. Maybe Baji's drive from 18 yards has been the best opportunity for either team.
Both sides seem to be content. They want to keep it a little bit in their back half and then look for some quick openings. And I think that they're both feeling each other out a little bit, trying to find a little bit of rhythm. But balls like this.
Bounding ball. Oh my. That's a takedown by Baji, or nearly was. He illegally worked his way free against Okiyama, who had the body position. And now Baji is down on a knee. Here in the 24th minute, scoreless match. Matt Geica with Gene Klein bringing you USL Soccer. Okiyama strong enough to stay on his feet, but he was pushed or pulled. One or the other. And Baji is still struggling.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. He got up okay, and then all of a sudden went back down.
Gives us an opportunity to ask you if you've visited the new USLsoccer.com. Get the latest news and live stats and check out the news social media hub, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's all there at USLsoccer.com. Thompson puts the ball back into play as the Riverhounds go to work again. Again, Highmark Stadium has been a fortress for the Hounds, 6-2-3 in the league. Dahlman volleys it forward. Can Kevin Kerr get there in the corner? He's pushed hard by Mishak, but play is allowed to continue on. Rolled a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Good pick off by Danny Earls in the midfield. The Hounds push right back. Maloto, Kerr. This looks promising. Kevin Kerr off to Dahlman, overlapping. Matt Dahlman, right-footed cross! And Maloto sliding through. Couldn't get the head to it. It looked like that was Bilal Duckett who edged his way in front.
Terrific serve. And again, we said Matty Dahlman needs to be selective. He was. He came forward in the flow of the build-up and did very, very well to get a terrific serve in. And his delivery has been so lethal when he's healthy. We saw it a couple years ago when he led the league in assists, and that was a terrific opportunity right there. And as we see, and again, encouraging sign, Lebo Maloto making that near post run. That's stuff we haven't seen before, and I'm sure that the coaches have been continuing to push him a little bit to get into the attack and to get on the end of things, and so that's encouraging.
Okiyama. And speaking of former Charlotte Eagles, he's one of them who played for Coach Mark Steffens previous to this season. Maloto, nearly got that through, but a good stab for Mishak to break it up, and the Independence on the counter.
And good entry ball from Maloto to the feet of Michael Green. He misfired on the pass, but again, rather than having Mike Green chasing balls, you got to play to his feet, and then they can combine a little bit. And we see Lebo again. The times that Lebo has lost the ball so far have been when he's tried to make a play forward, and I think that's the difference as far as what I can see in his game. Because in the games where he's been rather pedestrian. He's been content to play the ball square and play the ball back, and frankly, there's a lot of guys who can do that in this league. We need him to be more assertive like he's doing tonight, and I think that if he does lose the ball in those situations, you got to take those risks every once in a while.
Maloto was signed in the offseason with the reputation of being a creator. We saw that right away in the preseason against collegiate foes, though of course the pros are a whole nother thing. And Steffens has talked about the fact that he's worked through some leg issues as that ball gets right through the legs of Danny Earls. in fact, but the Hounds recover. But Moloto needs to have his legs under him to play his type of game. And recently, we've seen that more often than we haven't. Here is Lebo. Off to Matt Dahlman. That's a brutal challenge from behind.
That has to be from behind, and has to be a little bit of a booking, because that is behind.
Enzo Martinez tangled up the feet of Dahlman, and there will be no card.
No. But we see it
take a
again.
second
Great
look.
little flick from Lebo, and wow, I don't know how you don't escape a caution in that when he's coming across. It's
He's not going for the ball there either.
yeah.
Ball's out ahead of Dahlman. At any rate, the Riverhounds get a restart in a dangerous area of the field.
And you got a guy who can really whip it in with that left foot of his, and that's Danny Earls. And we'll see. It looks like Okiyama, Mike Green, Willie Hunt all looking to get on the end of this.
Earls kind of scuffed it. Kerr tried to make the most of it. His back pass to Green ended up being a shot block for Charlotte. So nothing much comes out of that, and it's Raphael Cox. Open man, Zahorski backing in against defensive midfielder Stephen Okai.
Yeah, well done from Okai, who tracked back because we had to pull out a little bit there with our center backs.
Crossed in, Del Piccolo couldn't get a foot to it. Some nervous moments for the Hounds now. It's laid on back, faking the drive. Now playing it across was Ribeiro. The cross from the near side by Cox was blocked by Dahlman. And Moloto, a strong run to get rid of it and put it on the foot of Michael Green just inside the touchline. Mike Green, edge of the area, taking on a man. Good move to the outside. Green cross too far for Kerr, and it's over his head.
Well, Michael did everything right there, except just couldn't pick out where Kevin was going on that run and put it over his head. But again, a lot of stuff coming from Moloto, and a terrific run by Mike Green.
Green wheeling and dealing and nearly setting up the opener. Kerr looked to set up Moloto, but that's sharply taken away by the Independents. And Slogic has it to Baji. This Charlotte team, 5-match unbeaten streak also since the win over Pittsburgh on June the 13th. 4-2-4, I should say. So they picked up the pace here. Ball bounding in to the Riverhounds box, but the foul has been called against Danny Earls way back, about 35, 40 yards out from the end line.
Danny doesn't necessarily agree with that, but Enzo Martinez are going to take one down, and either he or Del Piccolo are going to pick up the free kick.
So an opportunity now for Charlotte, for the visitors. As we mentioned in the pre-match run-up, maybe not quite a desperate match for Charlotte because they have played 19 matches. They still have 9 to go, counting tonight. So they have time to make up some ground, but still 6 out of the playoff zone in the Eastern Conference. And they've played rather assertively here tonight. Quick drive gets through the wall, but punched out by Danny Earls. Jerome Mishak appeared to fool the Hounds with the quickness of that.
Yeah, I don't know if he is actually going to goal on that one, or trying to play somebody through, or looking for a little pinball wizardry, because it wasn't the most creative thing. So look, he had a go at it and just took a strike on goal, but it deflected off a number of people.
You don't often see that, but he gave it a shot.
Yeah, and the way he was lined up on that too, it would have been tough for that to go in goal unless he was like trying to hit it with the outside of his right boot and bend it in. So, but the Riverhounds are out of that with no problem.
Okai to Moloto in the middle. He has Dahlman, who obediently steps up to
good
the
delivery.
square ball, and he does deliver it, seeking out Kerr, who once again is closely marked. This time it was Duckett. The Independents have been all over Kerr for the most part, for good reason. He's one of the Hounds' chief creators.
I think we're this is going to be a difficult game. We're seeing both sides, both back fours are well connected and are very well organized, and it's going to be a tight one. And we're going to who's going to be able to pick the right spot and finish when they can.
Long ball to Baji. It was a good one. The layback, dummy play by Charlotte. Martinez squeezes it through. Okiyama almost whiffed on that clearance. Rob Vincent takes care of the rest. And yes, that is Rob Vincent. He had the 17 goals all the way back defending. That's what he does. He comes from deep in the midfield at times.
Yeah, that's Rob Vincent, all patched up. Looking like he just came from the trenches somewhere. But a little nick on the head's not going to keep him off the field, that's for sure.
No doubt. And there's Kevin Kerr, his midfield running mates. Back to Matt Dahlman, who slows things down a bit.
Well, I think they're wise here. It got a little hectic, and Matty said, let's take the air out of the ball a little bit, and let's get ourselves. And there's another push by Duckett. When it gets a little bit frazzled, and Dahlman wisely said, let's settle it down, let's slow the game down a little bit and try to keep it for a while. But then we knock that long ball up. And again, when we've been more successful is when we've tried to maintain the tempo and keep possession. I mean, Mark Steffens has said from the beginning of the year we want to be a high possession team. And these long ones into Mike Green are not going to be effective. We're better with having playing through the midfield and looking for of the creative midfielders we have to combine.
Earls, Anthony Arena, last year's Riverhounds Defensive Player of the Year. Arena, now fully property of Pittsburgh after being here on a loan agreement with the Houston Dynamo of MLS last season. Okiyama showed off that speed, but he nearly left the ball behind. Gets bailed out by the foul call against Del Piccolo. Dahlman with a train crossing in the background. If this is your first time watching a match at Highmark Stadium, that's a frequent occurrence. We sometimes get a soccer ball in the Monongahela River as well. None yet tonight.
Not yet, and sometimes they go in the train and they end up in West Virginia or something.
Depends on which way the train's going, exactly. I suppose. But part of the ambiance here, one of the better atmospheres in North American soccer. Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
There's an interesting clearance from Ribeiro.
Ribeiro just shot it straight into the atmosphere.
Foul, that has to be a foul. Yeah.
I was about to say.
Saying he got the ball. I mean, Martinez is saying he had it, but I think he also got some legs at Danny Earls.
I was about to say the Independents get away with a poor clearance, but they don't in the end. And here's a chance from straight on once we get this thing restarted. Got to imagine Rob Vincent is going to be involved in one way or another here. And I want to say that was Del Piccolo called for the foul.
I believe that was.
Paolo Del Piccolo.
Referee trying to get them back 10 yards away from the ball. We're going to see, I got to say this is Robbie Vincent territory where he can have a go.
Anything within 30, 40 yards these days is Rob Vincent territory.
And it's been pretty doggone good.
Kerr runs by Vincent to Kerr, but it was read like a book.
Yeah,
nicely,
that was not real well disguised.
Raphael Cox slid in the way. Good idea, but as you mentioned, maybe a bit too deliberate.
Yeah, it just it happened a little bit too slow. It was a little bit easy to read. And I think that Robbie and Kevin were like, those guys usually connect, but not that time.
So Del Piccolo toes it up to Slogic. Through to the hard-to-handle Dominique Baji. Sliding by Okai. Baji, the blast, and nearly picked off one of the ball kids behind the goal.
Yeah, this is quite a battle with Dahlman and Baji. I mean, they're going to be going at it the entire night. And as I said earlier, Matty Dahlman's going to have to make sure he's very selective of going forward because they are looking for Baji on this left side. And with Sahorski and Martinez up there, that's a dangerous three.
Baji listed at 6 feet, 170 pounds, so long and lanky. Has some moves. and uses that frame well, it appears, in the early going. Just 4 matches with the Independents this season. Formerly has played for the Colorado Rapids of MLS. Here's the header by Earls. It's onto the foot of Lebo Moloto. Kerr back to Moloto. Look at that shot.
Great little touch by Lebo Moloto.
Beautiful
Can he
one.
separate from
Now
him?
he steps back against Slogic. Over to Kevin Kerr. Lining it up, maybe. Kevin Kerr to the end line. Couldn't cross it, but it is off the foot of Jerome Mishak. First corner kick to Pittsburgh comes in the 38th minute.
And a terrific combination between Kevin Kerr and Lebo Moloto. And just watch Kevin, his little change of pace, a couple little feints. Couldn't completely elude the Charlotte defender, but that's where he's so dangerous, and he's drawn PKs in the past because he gives that little dip of the shoulder, and the defender bites on it, and then he goes again, and they have to take him down. So Charlotte did well to defend, but terrific combination.
The Hounds go short. Moloto. Dolman stepping up. His cross for Rob Vincent. Blows it over the top.
I think that was rehearsed on the training ground this week, and that looked terrific. Great little combination with Danny, with Lebo, with Matty Dolman coming up, and he was certainly looking for Robbie Vincent making that diagonal run.
Dolman sent it in low. He came from well out of the back to join the attack. And the Riverhounds have also had another corner play. That one, they usually send it through the outer edges of the penalty area. That one hasn't connected, but that one's looked good too. So there have been some set piece innovation, has been some set piece innovation from this Hounds team this year. Hasn't led to a goal yet.
Again, Lebo Moloto's so active. You almost wonder. Yeah, it's back in. I think you mentioned Matt. Back in preseason again. You know, it's what we saw, and then
he chests it down, shoots.
Oh,
He scores! There he is. Double deuce. Lebo Moloto cashes in and silences the enemy. The towels are waving at Highmark Stadium. Moloto celebrates. What a beauty, Gene.
Oh, terrific. Lebo Moloto again. Just couldn't get done saying it enough. He's been so active and so assertive the entire game, and then he took that strike there, showing the confidence that we've been looking for all year. I mean, that was just terrific on his part. He made the play, tremendous amount of movement, and then just a terrific strike.
Let's take a look at some replays. We won't be able to see this one enough. Okai, the
well
flick over the
chested
top.
down perfectly and just played right to his right foot, and he gets over the ball. Great technique, and boom, in the upper 90. Terrific ball from Lebo Moloto.
Lebo Tsunami is his Twitter handle, and he overwhelms the Independents with that beautiful shot. And, well, the shot was great in and of itself, but the way he chested it down, controlled it, everything done to perfection. Lebo Moloto, his 4th goal in league action against 7 assists.
Whoa.
What has happened here? A red
red
card
card
against Baji. I missed that.
I think that might have happened at the celebration or something. But Kevin Kerr was saying something to the referee, and a 4th official saw it, and I believe he's the one making the call. He called the center referee over.
The 4th official was Eric Blackburn, so he playing a role in this match, and the acting head coach for the Independents, Troy Lesesny, is protesting. He is talking to Eric Blackburn.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, he called the center referee over. Blackburn did, and I saw Kevin Kerr in there in the middle, and I don't know what happened. Mark Steffens telling Kevin to get out of that little huddle. But, Baji was mixing it up before with Dolman, and we saw some frustration in him earlier. So not sure exactly what went down with that one. But Riverhounds not only have a goal, they're up a man.
Charlotte forced to play with 10 for the duration. 40th minute red card immediately after the goal scored by Lebo Moloto. Action
So,
coming quickly, suddenly at the end of the first half.
yeah, we'll try to get a confirmation on that maybe at halftime, but obviously the Independence is not very happy. Del Piccolo, they're all giving it to the fourth official.
And a boo comes up from the crowd. This is, well, the tickets sold at least indicated it was going to be one of the larger crowds of the season. I think there's some traffic outside the stadium holding people up. There's the announcement on the red card. Didn't hear a reason for it.
Well, that's a terrific plus for the Hounds. Like, again, to go in at halftime up 1-0, and really the most dangerous guy was Bozzi the first half.
Yes, he has been.
And
Kerr just got a yellow card.
And I think Kevin's getting a yellow. Didn't, with all the commotion, maybe didn't need to go in at that time for that type of challenge.
Here's the replay of the foul against Kerr, who comes tracking from the back.
He's tracking back, and it's hard, and he just, I mean, I think had the red card not been earlier, he's gonna just blow a foul there and without a problem. But the referee's trying to settle things down and settle the emotions down a little bit. So Kevin could have been a little bit smarter there and just, held up and tried to stop the dribble.
Del Piccolo headed that Enzo Martinez cross over the crossbar. Well, the Riverhounds have been burnt playing up a man recently. They had a 3-1 lead and a one-man advantage.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up. But
maybe if you bring it up, then you get it out in the open.
Yeah,
you
seriously.
can move on from there.
Yeah.
But, well, guaranteed that the coaching staff is going to be talking about that at halftime.
Yeah, that's.
I would imagine.
And I think every player knows about that one, and they're gonna be thinking we're not letting this happen again. So everybody knows what's at stake here. I'm sure as these guys enter the stadium tonight, this is the game they want to be in. These are the types of game they want to play for as a player, and it's certainly players at any level, but especially at the higher levels, the pro levels. You want to play in games that are really, really meaningful. And with a long pro season, you certainly go through your ups and downs, as both of these teams have. However, this is a game you got to be up for and you got to be ready for, and I think both teams were, but that's a tremendous break for the Hounds. Great goal, ejection.
2 minutes that have changed this game dramatically. Charlotte is 0-4-4 on the road. I'd be remiss to not mention that. So they are behind it in more ways than one now and trying to get that first road victory.
And they're still pressing too, Matt. I mean, they're
pressing hard.
They're still going after it, and so it's going to be interesting to see what the coaching staff of Charlotte does. I'm not sure. I think Mike Jeffrey's probably still allowed in the locker room, but I know he's not allowed on the field anymore.
Yeah, I'm not certain about the setup there for halftime if he can speak to his team. There's a turnover and a breakup. A nice play by Enzo Martinez to step up. Martinez holding the ball up now.
Oh,
chipping it back to Piccolo. Couldn't navigate his way.
Well
through.
done. Rena Nokiyama squeezed Piccolo, and he couldn't get a shot off. But Charlotte's looking a little bit dangerous. They've, again, like I said, they haven't taken their foot off the gas pedal and still going very, very strong. So we see about 2 minutes of added time.
We'll add 2 here in the 46th minute we play on. Willie Hunt with some space, about 10 yards of it. Gives to Rob Vincent, center of the field. Vincent has to go, and he missed it. Hard to blame him for taking a look up and seeing Charlotte backed off just a bit. But he misfired on that one. Rob Vincent, who briefly had a share of the goal-scoring lead. He's had shares and the lead to himself at various times this season, but Danny Koenig of Oklahoma City is having just as great of a year. He has 19 now. 19 goals in league action. Vincent was 17.
And I think Matt Fondy of Louisville is right up there with him also.
Yes, Fondy suddenly has 16. He scored 4 earlier this week. And the former Riverhound, you know him well.
We know him well, and of course he had the game winner against us here a couple weeks ago. So he's having an outstanding year.
Fondy, a true finisher.
But even when Robbie misses like that one a little bit over top, it's just struck so powerfully and so well and so cleanly. that's why he's up there with the goal scorers.
Flicked on, and running for it was Zahorsky. It bounced right to the foot of Martinez, who put a medium pace shot right on, and Thompson gobbles it up, rolls it out. Matt Dahlman lifting it high and deep.
Oh, well done, Kevin Kerr.
Off the head of Mishak,
there.
and Kerr is the beneficiary of the bounce. Okai to Maloto. That was the connection for the goal. Maloto this time feeds it out to Dahlman. Dahlman pushed it toward the middle. Mike Green lost it off his body, and there's the double whistle for halftime from Pittsburgh. Maloto goals in back-to-back matches. He scores an absolute beauty, one of the best of the year in USL. I feel confident saying that. Off the assist from Okai. It was in the 39th minute. And 1 minute later, Dominique Badji was sent off for an unseen infraction, at least from our perspective. And so the Hounds up a goal, up a man against expansion Charlotte at the half.
Yeah, terrific start for the Riverhounds first half to go into halftime, to go in the dressing room up 1-0 and up a man. It's going to be, we'll see what tactics both coaching staffs are going to have and what the Hounds are going to do. I think for the Riverhounds, it's going to be they need to keep the ball going. They need to have a lot of good touches and a lot of possession, and really try to make Charlotte chase the game a little bit. I mean, Charlotte needs 3 points. They can't really afford to sit back too much, Matt. But we'll see what happens. Can they get a point from a set piece or whatever, or get a goal from a set piece, and then would they try to sit back? So we'll see what happens. But really terrific start. And again, Lebo Maloto was just outstanding. Picked up where he left off in Toronto last week.
Usually the Riverhounds, if they get a first half goal, they're ahead of the match, ahead of the game, because they score a ton in the second half. That has been their better half scoring wise by a wide margin. But tonight they cashed in the opening 45, and for the second time this season they hold a 1-0 lead at the half against Independence. And before we step away, let's look at those first half highlights. Kerr, an early shot/cross with Vincent colliding with the keeper.
Caused a little bleeding on the back of Rob Vincent's head, because I think he caught the back of John Berner's cleat, the goalkeeper.
Henry Kalungi was the man who got tangled up with him.
And here's Baji, the red carded man, who gets a good strike on, but right at Ryan Thompson, no problem for him.
The Jamaican national parries it away.
Maloto again. Kevin Kerr, a little stutter step, and just puts one in the side panel. Couldn't bring that one back.
Earned the corner there, though. And
Mike Green again. Okai, here's the goal. Chested down beautifully by Maloto. Swings across, hits through the ball, stays over it in the upper 90. Unstoppable goal. Goalkeeper, no chance on that one. As we take another look at that one, chested down perfectly. Comes right around through the ball. Perfect technique. And a great goal for Lebo Maloto, and he can be a terrific difference maker for the Riverhounds, Matt. I mean, he's out there, as we said at the beginning of the game. We want to see him assertive. We want to see him getting off the ball. We want to see him trying things to go forward, and that's what he's done this first half, and it certainly paid off for the Riverhounds.
Maloto has a goal in each match against Charlotte, and still 45 minutes, maybe plus, to go in this one. Riverhounds 1, Independence 0 at intermission. We'll be back with the first half stats and setting up the remainder of this evening's action. Matt Geiger with Gene Klein live from Highmark Stadium on youtube.com/USL and riverhounds.com. We shall return in just a few minutes.
To Pittsburgh, a #1 Cochrane premier brand. The Q3 crossover is nimble, versatile, and in high demand. Find yours now or explore grand opening offers on all other Audi models. Only at the new Audi Pittsburgh from #1 Cochrane, located on West Liberty Avenue and coming to the Strip in 2017.
Back at Highmark Stadium, look at that beautiful sunset from our goal cam. Here on the south side of Pittsburgh, the home team, the Riverhounds, have a 1-0 lead over the Charlotte Independents. I'm Matt Geitka. Gene Klein is alongside. And Gene, looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, some results have gone the Riverhounds' way lately. The Hounds holding on to that 6th and final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Just this afternoon, in fact, Richmond was up 1-0 at Toronto, and Toronto FC, the lowest scoring team in USL coming into this weekend, scored too late to take a home win, and so that will ensure that the Hounds will move up in the standings with the victory tonight. And they do have immediately ahead of them Richmond and New York Red Bulls. Red Bulls are idle tonight, so actually a win would put Pittsburgh in 4th place in the East, and that 4th place is an important spot because the 3rd and 4th place teams in the East host a playoff match in the first weekend of the postseason.
No, that's absolutely huge. Richmond's been dropping a few points lately, which is very uncharacteristic for them, and that's to the benefit of teams like the Riverhounds. So 3 points tonight will absolutely put us where we need to be, and continue making that push here over the next several weeks to get that home field advantage for the playoffs, which I know is a major goal for the organization.
It would be a first here at Highmark Stadium. By the way, the Harrisburg City Islanders are not out of it by any stretch, because they have 2 matches in hand, even though they are 3 points behind the Riverhounds for that final playoff spot. The Islanders not in action this evening, but they are lurking as well, so that increases the motivation to keep charging up the standings, keep collecting as many points as possible, especially at home. We have a substitution announced. 31 in for 7.
Which is got Stephen Akai out for the...
Yeah, it looks like he is, as Ryan Thompson fields a bouncing ball, and so that's the new player the Hounds have picked up this week. In fact, just yesterday, Ben Noonan checks into the match, playing against his former club, the Independents. He played 11 matches for him this year.
And it looks like he's going to be inserted into the midfield next to Danny Earls and the Riverhounds 4-2-3-1 formation. So it'll be interesting to see what I know Ben Newman's played mostly in the back, but I'm sure Mark Steffens doesn't want to mess up what Okayama and Arena have done very, very well tonight.
Green taking on Duckett. Dumps it back. Rob Vincent stepping around and then holding it up. So it is hello Noonan for the Riverhounds this evening. He is in for second 45 minutes. There he is, number 31. He's near the action on your screen, wearing the bright green boots. Enzo Martinez couldn't elude the Riverhounds' pressure. There's a turnover. Moloto through. It's Noonan, but he's offside. Getting engaged right away. And the two Hounds with those green shoes connected, or nearly did.
Yeah, that's what you want to see when you have a substitution like that. He's going to come in right away and make a bit of an impact on the game, and he's trying to assert himself, and he goes forward there and does well to create a chance for the Riverhounds.
Fresh blood for the Hounds. Sees the field. The Riverhounds, remember, are playing a man up. Dominique Badji, who had 4 shots, a game-high 4 shots in the first half, is out. He is gone with a red card. And try as we might, we couldn't figure out exactly what he did. But he didn't give much of an argument. His teammates and his coach did, but he left rather quickly. So I imagine something occurred, and there wasn't much of a dispute. Moloto on the touchline, attempting to elude the reach of Kalungi, who pulled him down. That's a foul. Foul number 7 against Charlotte. The fouls were 7-6.
And,
with Pittsburgh having more, and there's one right back against Moloto.
Just got word that Baji report from the referees where there was a serious foul play after the goal that he struck someone. So don't have we'll have to confirm that certainly after the game, but that was so it was sort of what we had guessed, that something after the celebration, after the when the players were walking back, our view was obstructed from that something happened, and only again the fourth official picked that up.
And that's what the fourth official is there for, not just to check in the substitutions and display the amount of added time at the end of each half. That person is an official with the powers of an official if he or she feels it necessary. The assistant referees tonight, Amanda Ross and Wayne Pavlicek, helping out Yaroslav Veril.
And looking to see how Charlotte is going to play this, and they're not hesitating again with pushing some people forward.
Charlotte was still aggressive in the final 5 minutes or so of the first half, despite playing with 10. And being down a goal, at some point they're going to have to chase it.
Yeah, so Horsky's going to stay up by himself, but they're still pushing guys forward, like Raphael Cox, and 14 is going. Enzo Martinez is also going forward. So those two players are joining Zahorsky early. So he's up by himself, but it looks like they're pretty much staying in a 4-4-1 without a man. So the loss of Baji is going to hurt them a little bit, but they are not. They need a goal, and they're going to continue to push for it.
Moloto touched it down, but away from the reach of Noonan. Ben Noonan looks on as the Independents head upfield with it. No foul called. Play continues on with Enzo Martinez writhing in apparent pain.
Yeah, well read by Anthony Arena as he picked off that pass and got it started for the Riverhounds at the other end. Martinez still down, though.
Moloto played it out in an act of sportsmanship, but Martinez is up, pointing to his right shin, indicating where he believes the boot came in and got him. Charlotte's going to give it right back to the Hounds here. Dumping it deep, and Thompson hanging on to it. 5 minutes into the second half. 5.5 gone, in fact. The Riverhounds ahead by 1 and seeking their first 3-game win streak of the season. It would come at a very opportune time with the club scuffling for position at the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff chase. Moloto went down.
And this is the point of the season where you want a three-game winning streak. And I think it's a long season. Every team goes through some difficult spots. I think the Riverhounds have played through theirs, and now it's an opportunity for the Hounds to really make their mark and make a good push here in the final couple weeks of the season.
Mike Green pressing upfield. Green once again in this 4-5-1 formation, or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it, for the Riverhounds. It's a very midfield-driven formation. And Charlotte came out in the 4-4-2. Now some adjustments, though, with both trailing by a goal and playing with 10 men. Raphael Cox flicked it up ahead, and right there to read the play and take the ball as Arena. Good play, Moloto. Feeds it right through. There's Kevin Kerr stepping up. Kerr, the shot! Or the cross, perhaps, and he missed on both. Moloto headed toward the post.
But again, Lebo Moloto looking forward, looking assertively, looking to get forward off his run. Great little touch forward, and then plays that perfectly weighted ball to Kevin Kerr. Just not enough of an angle for him, I don't think, to get that shot, and just a little bit wide. But some good play by the Riverhounds and taking advantage of Lebo Moloto's speed and skill.
Well, I suppose if you're Kevin Kerr, you're going to miss it across the face of goal, at least giving Moloto perhaps a chance to get there and poke it in, but he could not. Moloto fed that right through the legs of a Charlotte defender. Not sure if that was intentional. If it was a brilliant play.
Good Robbie Vincent again, coming all the way over from the left side. You can see
Dahlman cutting it back. Kerr's in the box once more. Kevin Kerr outside of his foot. Tried to pass it, but it's taken away. Okiyama stepping up, keeping possession for the Riverhounds. And Arena to Earls. Vincent drops that pendulum-like foot on it. Familiar move for him, but it's too far to the center of the field to make anything happen with Mike Green near the left touch line from the Riverhounds' perspective. Del Piccolo a through ball. Here's a diagonal lead feed down the side. Willie Hunt feinted like he was going to punch it upfield. Instead he lets it go, and he'll take the throw. Ryan Thompson, just the one save, or pardon me, 2 saves in that first half.
but really not a lot to do. I mean, he really hasn't had to deal with any crosses. Charlotte has not been that dangerous, except for a few shots that were directly at him.
And the Riverhounds seeking out more possession. That's the goal here. They can keep the ball. Obviously, Charlotte cannot generate much.
I think that's what the Hounds need to do. They need to not give it up easily where Charlotte's going to go at us and attack. And that's we can see early in this half that they are not going to sit back. If they have an opportunity to go forward, they're going to go for it. They need 3 points. They need a goal. And the Hounds will be wise just to try to knock it around and frustrate Charlotte a little bit, make them chase the game a little bit, and choose their spots, get that second goal, and seal this win.
Henry Kalungi will rear back for the long throw, flicked on into the 6-yard box, and eventually it skids out for a corner kick. Charlotte's second. The Independents, the visiting Independents, in white, Riverhounds in blue and black. This is the Hounds' alternate kit this year. Del Piccolo will do the honors on the corner kick. To the back post, and look at Thompson leap across.
Well, I just said Ryan has not had much to do in the aerial duels, and that time he got out there very, very well, got a good strong fist of it, and cleared that ball out of danger.
Strong corner from Del Piccolo. And Thompson, the one-handed punch clear with the right fist, in fact.
You see him come, get off his line very, very quickly. There's another throw in.
There's a flick and a save by Thompson. Oh, and he just nudges it wide of the right post and out for the corner kick. Ryan Thompson, awake and aware between the sticks.
Yeah, he kind of couldn't hold that one and tried to bat it off after he... You can see the long throw in here. There's the flick, goes for it, and oh man, the way he batted that one, I thought that he was going to knock that one right into the goal.
Del Piccolo tries again. It's loose in the box. Okiyama blasts it downfield.
Charlotte looking very dangerous on these corners and giving the Riverhounds some difficulties.
A corner kick is one area where it doesn't really matter if you're down a man, because you can still flood the area and can still generate something.
And if they have some big boys like Zahorsky and others who can get up and get on the end of some things, and they've created some good chances.
Slogic, 6'6", so yes, there are some bigger framed gentlemen on this Charlotte club.
Good old Slogic there, yeah. I mean, they're going to look for that target for sure.
Bilal Duckett hammers it on a line upfield. Through to Del Piccolo. That was a promising play for Charlotte, but he misfired. So the Independents showing their force of will. 58th minute. A long way to go, more than a half an hour for the Hounds. On top, though, at Highmark Stadium. Noonan pushed it up ahead off his instep. That was intercepted before it could get to Kevin Kerr, and now Del Piccolo, he's all over the ball in the second half. Gave that one up for Willie Hunt, dropped it between his legs, had a difficult time finding it for a moment.
Lebo well to ward off that challenge and keep possession.
Yes, the much smaller man, Lebo Moloto, against Paolo Del Piccolo. And Moloto won that duel. Danny Earls, who seldom loses a physical battle, rolls it to Willie Hunt and Kevin Kerr.
Yeah, and well done. This is what the Hounds need to do a little bit. Force Charlotte back on their heels. And again, Willie Hunt, Kevin Kerr, very composed. And, you know, they don't need that one, honestly.
Deep ball, and Green is going to be called for the foul there. The assistant referee raising
we did
his
very,
flag.
very well with Willie Hunt, brought that ball down, played to Kevin Kerr. Kerr composure, saw an opening on the other side of the field, and then just to knock it up where Mike Green has to win a couple duels, and Charlotte gets the ball back. So I think that we see a couple players saying, like, hey, let's just settle down, let's keep it a while, and I think that's what we need to do.
Substitution for Charlotte. It's the visitors first. Rafael Cox is off in the midfield in the 59th minute. On to replace him, Carlos Alvarez, who scored the winning goal against the Riverhounds in these two teams' previous meeting on the campus of Winthrop University. Alvarez, 2 goals, 2 assists on the year. This is 14th match. Free kick Charlotte inside the touchline on the river side of the field.
That's a dangerous ball.
Driven, and Thompson
Did well to pluck that one right out of the air.
He really did. It looked like it was almost behind his head by the time he snatched it. That's why they make those goalie gloves nice and sticky. And he leaped up, so just when we mentioned that he hadn't seen too much action, he has suddenly here.
Really, I mean, he had not seen anything in the air the
All
entire
broken
first
up.
half. No foul there. On Riverhounds want something. Charlotte going forward. Danny
Dahlman came
back very, very well to pick the pocket of Zaworski.
That was a disheveled-looking play as the Hounds were asking for a whistle. They didn't get it, and for a moment, Charlotte had an edge. But that quickly changed.
Oh, great ball from Robbie Vincent.
There's the ball from Vincent. It's Matt Dahlman back across, and it's headed up and out for the corner kick. Bilal Duckett taking no chances.
Good look from Robbie Vincent. Again, nice weighted ball to Matty Dahlman, making that run up. He has a good delivery in, but Duckett a little bit too much, and of course couldn't find Kevin Kerr. Difficult one to find, but did well.
One of the Hounds is down. Is that Green? Yes, and he's been helped to his feet by a member of the Independents. So corner kick from the right flag. The Riverhounds first of this half, second of the match. Danny Earls has his left foot lined up, it appears. But the Hounds did play their previous corners short. This time they won't. Earls looking for the header was Arena. Jumping out to snatch it, John Berner, the Charlotte keeper. Arena has a goal off a corner kick set up earlier this year. Not a header, but he has a finishing touch when he gets an opportunity. He and Okioma, in fact, have goals this season from the Riverhounds back line, both central defenders. There's Dahlman again.
Charlotte's still looking to try to play through Zaworski up top. They're playing through him, and now they have Alvarez and Martinez on the other side trying to join him. Del Piccolo is not sitting back either. He is pushing forward, leaving up, really letting the back four and Anthony Ribeiro try to deal with things defensively.
Kevin Kerr takes off. Overlap again. Noonan across the face of goal. Vincent will catch up to it inside the area. Rob Vincent to Moloto, has a goal already tonight, but a heavy touch allows Charlotte to take over. So
again,
Noonan is getting up into the play.
Looking for Zaworski.
Zaworski tumbling
all tangled
over.
up with Anthony Arena.
Arena down on his chest.
And Anthony saying it's the other way around.
We will have a second look at this. Well, from that angle, it appears that Zahorski just fell over Arena, but I think we missed out on the prelude just a bit. Del Piccolo will get the corner, or the the free kick.
I think the forward's going to get those most of the time. So Del Piccolo and again they're bringing the big guys up, Selajic, and there's Zahorski in there. So Riverhounds are going to have to be very, very alert. Ryan Thompson starting position a couple yards off his line, and looking to try to take that space. And now the referee's moving Matty Dahlman back 2 inches. So I'm going to give the Hounds extra time to set up. I don't know.
Independence lining up. Del Piccolo, not a great service, and Earl's in the way.
Couldn't get that over the first defender.
Okioma, Maloto, look at that one touch to Earls. Plenty of field to run into. He gave it off, though, to the far side, and he wanted it on the foot of Kevin Kerr. Hard to blame him. Kerr picking his way through. Earls stepping up. Can he keep it? He does. The cross, and punched out by Berner.
Yeah, well done by Berner there. That was a dangerous ball, and he did very, very well to get a fist on that one. But the Hounds had some space there. Danny Earls.
Look at this quick throw. Lebo Maloto. What's the call? It's made by the head referee.
Yeah, they called a foul somewhere.
Maloto quickly stepping by on the throw from Dahlman. The Hounds have had some promising looking build-ups.
Yeah, that was we started to say that one with Danny Earls. He elected to go to Kevin Kerr, which you can't blame him for, but there was a lot of space here on this left side, and I'd like to see him maybe carry that one a little bit more to draw some defenders, and then he could have slotted it through to Kevin or Robbie Vincent flying up on this left side.
A battle here. Alvarez, the substitute, against Willie Hunt. Skidded it on back for Kalungi, and Charlotte gives it away.
The Riverhounds would like to announce a happy birthday, a happy 10th.
Let's take this opportunity to congratulate the Lady Hounds under 15 girls team for winning the U.S. Club Soccer National Cup tournament recently. Goals from Carly Pichulinski and Alexis Kendro sealed a 2-0 win for the Lady Hounds over Pennsylvania rival YMS Yardley. That once again U15 champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds U15 girls. Alvarez to the middle. His deflected pass is sniffed out by Danny Earls. Also the U17 and the U16 girls went deep in their respective U.S. Club Soccer National Cup tournaments. The U17s made it to the final, and the U16s to the semifinal. Riverhounds have 15 youth teams now. It's become quite the accumulation of talent at the Hounds Academy. Here's a foul against the Riverhounds. Dahlman.
Yeah, Matty Dahlman's not happy with that. He felt that Martinez was backing it to him. There's nothing he could do. The referee felt that he went over the top of Martinez.
So the fouls piling up against the Riverhounds in this second half. That's 5 by my count. They had 7 in all of the first half, and we still have 25 minutes to play. Dahlman the one-man wall once again. This time from the far side.
Right,
Thompson, not too much trouble there.
Nah, no trouble. Clean for that for the Jamaican international, and that has to be a foul against Lebo Maloto.
Maloto couldn't get by Del Piccolo. He got his hands up high on Maloto, and Maloto, to his credit, just walks away. But the foul called against Charlotte. Charlotte coming in. Back-to-back ties against New York Red Bulls 2. And these two teams will meet again next week down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their new facility is ready. It was not when the Hounds went down the first time. That's why the match was competed at Winthrop. That was a hot night. It was a hot evening in Pittsburgh. It's cooled off a bit now as the sun's gone down. Well, here's a nice run. Martinez misfired off the outside of his foot.
Yeah, good run by Martinez, but just could not get through that particular shot. It looks like it tailed off on the outside of his boot. And, it was a harmless shot for Ryan Thompson. No problem for him. Ryan shrewdly is just taking a little bit of time off the clock here, off the goal kick. That's experience from playing in the CONCACAF Gold Cup with Jamaica.
Ryan at 30 years old. Here's Moloto. Oh, a great save. Coming out, Burner. Moloto with the volley. He's been sniffing that second one, and he's come oh so close.
Yeah, but again, Matt, so impressed with Lebo Moloto. The fact that he is going forward, making those runs, creating a lot of opportunities just from his runs and how he's playing, and that's really, really encouraging and impressive. And I want to see him continue doing that and playing with that confidence and being that assertive with his game.
The ball ruled into touch, even though Dahlman thought he had saved it. Here comes the second sub for Charlotte. Daniel Jackson, 3 goals on the year, checking in the 69th minute.
I think Martinez went off on the other side.
Yes, Enzo Martinez is off. 19 was the signal from the fourth official. The fourth official, Eric Blackburn, became part of the action when he helped issue a red card to Dominique Badji. Late in that first half, that has left Charlotte down a man. Moloto's goal just a minute prior to that put the Hounds up a goal. And still defending that 1-0 lead, in fact. Thompson's play down the near touch line over the head of Vincent. Thompson raises a hand to apologize. Arena, routine header. And the Hounds are guilty of infraction. Del Piccolo to take this again.
And again, this is where Hounds have to be very, very alert. They cannot have a lapse. Del Piccolo's been very good on these serves, and they have a lot of big guys and get up and get this thing.
Another low one. Earls is there again.
Yeah, I mean, right, the second one in a row, he could not get over Danny Earls, and they got to be disappointed with that, because when you're a man down, you have to take advantage of those situations, and that's 2 that Del Piccolo has botched, and he's not happy with himself.
Goal kick, Riverhounds. Nike is a proud partner of the USL and the Riverhounds, in fact. Nike just re-upping with Pittsburgh for the next 2 seasons to be their official equipment provider and uniform outfitter. Follow Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. A deep ball skids away from Moloto into the arms of John Burner. Burner with a record of 2-3-3 this season. He has a pair of clean sheets, but not tonight. The Independents, much like the Hounds, have played a handful of keepers this year. With loans coming into play.
Bit of a collision down there in the corner with Kalungi, and I think it was Willie Hunt.
I think it has to be Hunt, yes.
And he's still down. Yep. And he's
begging for a call.
He's appealing to the assistant referee, saying, "Did you see that? You were right there."
That's Amanda Ross with the flag in her hand, nearer to the situation.
She apparently thought it was a harmless situation.
We'll have a replay coming up for you.
We'll see Willie Hunt trying.
Wild swing
way
of the
out
foot.
of play. It's a wild swing, and it's off the field, Matt. I mean, I think she could have put her flag up, and if the referee wanted to say I didn't see it, he could wave her off. But I mean, my God, she has to put her flag up and let the referee know that happened. It was off the field, and Kalungi took a wild swing.
Arena belts it downfield. We're into the final 20. And it's still 1-0. The Riverhounds this year have only won once when scoring less than 2. So this is kind of a strange situation they're in right now. They beat Montreal, FC Montreal, here last month or 2 months ago. It is now late June, 1-0. Oh, Thompson took a hard hit, and the ball squirted toward the goal line. Thompson is down and hurt on his side. The Riverhounds cleaned it up, got it away from the front. The Referee is ruling it was an incidental collision, but Thompson hasn't moved much, if at all. Now he does roll over.
He's holding his
Athletic
head.
trainer Leanne Calger comes
knee or
over.
Foot to the head. And Del Piccolo and Arena are. Del Piccolo is saying that Thompson was out on Zahorsky.
We'll have 2 replays on the way. On the long ball, bounces once, and
Yeah, I mean
Zahorsky came in with a knee or a foot.
Yeah.
A lower angle may reveal more. Possibly a knee or a thigh to the head of Ryan Thompson, who is down on his back being tended to.
I mean, he is up, so I think Thompson's okay.
Again, this is Leanne Calger tending to. But the situation, that ball rolled right to the front of the goal.
It was a tough 50-50 ball, very dangerous one for the keeper to come out with that situation. Zahorsky was going for the ball.
Charlotte, you saw the bench up in arms. They wanted a penalty kick called there. That would have been a difficult one to make.
Yeah, I don't know how they have a
probably the best way is
legitimate claim for that one. Seriously,
probably the best way to adjudicate that was to go with the no call, which is what ended up happening.
Yeah, that was not. To me, that's not clear. It's both were going for a very difficult 50-50 ball. There's no malice intended.
No. Didn't appear to be the case.
But, Charlotte probably trying to appeal to the referee and saying time to even it up as we see Suma coming in. Looks like going to be a substitute for the Riverhounds for Lebo Moloto.
Amara Suma will replace Moloto in the 75th minute. What a night for Lebo.
Yeah, terrific night for Lebo Moloto. Disappointed to see him come off, actually, because he's done so well, and I'm sure Mark Steffens wants to get a little bit more energy in there and get some new legs and try to find a way to seal the win, get that second goal.
Amara Suma has 2 goals on the year, including a recent one in that 4-3 loss at Harrisburg City Islanders 3 weeks ago. Suma has shown promise. He actually has both of his goals against Harrisburg. He scored the first one in that remarkable comeback 6-5 on May the 30th here at Highmark. He will give you the speed. Native of Ghana, Amara Suma.
And he's going to go up high, Matt. Looks like I think Mike Green's going to go underneath at Lebo Moloto's spot.
That would make sense. Serena hooking it away with a sliding tackle. Back through, some disorganization for a moment, but the Hounds survive as Noonan got in the way.
Mike Green can just never play one position.
I don't think he's allowed to stay in the same spot. It's in his contract.
Yeah, seriously, he has to. He's probably completely disappointed if he only plays 90 minutes at one position.
It might get boring for him if he just stayed up front or wherever he does start a match. He sometimes, most of the time, ends up elsewhere. Ball over the head of Arena. He takes a look and pops it away with the volley about waist height. Bouncing ball out to Charlotte. And the Independents have 2 more substitutions ready. Michael Bustamante takes the spot of Del Piccolo. 77th minute subs. And Ryan Finley, he of the team leading 4 goals this season.
Yeah, Ryan Finley's a handful. Spent a number of years, spent a lot of time in MLS. He's been up with, I know he's with the U20 national team for a while. He's so he is an experienced player and dangerous player. Hounds are going to have to be alert with him.
Finley coming off the bench. This is his 16th match out of 20. Oh, ball gets through, and here's Daniel Jackson. Charlotte's number 16, gets the corner kick as he dumps it off the foot of Anthony Arena.
So again, Hounds got to be alert. Finley, Slogic, Zahorsky, all dangerous guys.
Didn't catch who came came off
Well,
when Ryan
Del
Finley
Piccolo,
came on.
Del Piccolo came off is one I didn't. I'm not sure about.
There's the sign finally. Zahorsky is off the field now. So
okay.
one less big body that the Hounds have to worry
Finley-
about.
Finley
but
on for Zahorsky.
Finley is in
I
and
know
playing
Del
a forward
Piccolo.
spot.
I know Del Piccolo came off because the crowd gave
They did. They greeted him.
a very
Charlotte
jaded, sarcastic ovation. You know?
Number 30, Michael.
The Bronx cheer, I guess you could call it,
Yeah.
Number 36,
here in Western Pennsylvania. 78th minute. Time ticking down on the
Number 20,
10-man Charlotte squad. 0-4-4 on the road this year, and the Hounds in search of home victory number 7. Kevin Kerr, lovely job to win that ball at the midfield stripe. Hunt blasts one across the field, right onto the foot of Matt Dahlman. Noonan, Ben Noonan, the newest Riverhound. Green, well done to get it back to Dahlman. Here's some possession time for the Hounds. Green to the touchline. Dahlman, the connection to Rob Vincent. Right edge of the area,
good
slides
ball.
it right through and punched out by the Independents for the corner. Riverhounds get a second corner in this half. I want to say that was Jerome Mishak with the last foot on it.
Still got to think that the Hounds have one more that they can ice this game. Second goal look really great right now.
Vincent takes it, lifting it to the back edge of the 6-yard box. Served back in by Noonan.
Earls.
Danny Earls, he scored in that situation before this year,
but
but
I saw him wind up. I had some visions there.
his volley missed.
20-minute autograph session on the field.
Was that match against Harrisburg? He's had one like that, and earlier in the year too.
As a reminder,
The ball was played out to him, and he just drove it quickly right back into the mix, and it went to the upper 90. 3 goals on the year for the defensive midfielder Danny Earls. Here's the 17-goal man,
Flag is up
Vincent.
on
But Suma, yes, he was ahead of the second to last defender, so that nullifies the play. There you see those giveaway towels that were handed out to the first 3,500 through the gates. One of the Riverhounds' largest crowds of the season is in attendance.
Yeah, it's a great night for it. And it's great to see this many people out to support the Riverhounds.
2 home matches to go. One Labor Day weekend. There's a trip whistled against Suma, sending Bilal Duckett sprawling. And the final home match is on a Wednesday, actually. Wednesday the 16th against Rochester. Presumably your Eastern Conference winner when it's all said and done in the regular season. That'll be a challenge, and so will, in fact, Charleston Battery, which is the next home opponent, too. Thompson snatches it with 2 hands.
Mike Thompson confidently coming out with that one. Hits that cleanly. Grimaces a little bit when he goes down.
Thompson battered and bruised here and punts that one away, and he is, again, betraying some pain on his face. He at least got that up to the midfield line. Ryan Thompson, his first match for the Hounds since late May, when he helped author that first road victory against Richmond. And a whiff in the corner by the Independence's Alvarez.
Well, we're getting down to that stage of the game now where it's just really important for the Riverhounds to manage the game. Charlotte using another substitution here.
Bilal Duckett is done. Caleb Calvert checking in. This is his usual role. Out of his 13 appearances now this season, he has but 1 start.
So Charlotte down to 3 in the back with Anthony Ribeiro in front of them, and they're going to push everything they can forward to try and get the tying goal.
Calvert listed as a forward, so yes, that does seem to be the move here.
So again,
6-2.
great
Caleb
opportunity
Calvert.
for the Riverhounds to find a way to get that second one.
The second one would appear to be the one that will clinch it tonight as we move further and further along. Good read of the play by Noonan. Noonan pass along the turf for Kevin Kerr, I believe that was, in the dark corner of the field. His cross was fended off. But a foul on Charlotte. 83rd minute. I would imagine we will see some added time, so it's
Yeah, there'll be some added
not
time
exactly
for
7 minutes
for
left,
the,
but
time that Ryan Thompson was down. So we'll see a few.
by my count, it was about a minute and a half or 2 minutes. So I would think at least that much would be added on.
Yeah, and a lot of substitutions too. So as we see.
Dahlman, death ball, hit it on target. Noonan, I think,
Newman,
got his
yeah,
head to it.
That was the new guy, Ben Newman.
And Dahlman is a magician with those diving free kicks at times. He's able to drop it over that first line of defense and put it in a dangerous
Finley.
spot.
Nope.
Okiyama against Finley. Play continues on. Earls outside of his foot to clear it. And Dahlman takes care of the rest.
Yeah, well done by Matty Dahlman there, and that's it.
Up for Amara
That's good.
Suma. The keeper's off his line. Suma flicks it toward the open cage, but he's not going to be able to get there for the second touch. And now Jackson settles it down for the Independents. Flick on header.
He's onside.
Here comes Finley. He's onside. The drive, and it's blocked, I believe, by Dahlman coming back.
That was dangerous. We had everybody pulled out. They kept three up top, and they played over the top of us to Finley. And again, the Hounds are going to have to be a little bit more alert and maintain their shape. I mean, the bottom line is still 1-0 here, and we have to defend these corners.
Miro Chabrillo will be the substitution at the moment. He takes over from Mike Green. Riverhounds dip into their bench once more.
Substitution.
Chabrillo, the expert through the air. Chabrillo had a late goal last week at Toronto, teaming up with Maloto.
I'm sure they need Miro to get up there because we need some matchups with their big guys in the box, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why Mark Steffens is putting Miro in the game.
This is the second or third or maybe even fourth time we've seen him in this role.
Oh, Finley.
The header, and it's in! Header, goal by Finley off of Thompson's gloved hand and up into the roof of the net, and we are tied at 1.
And I hate to say it, but we worried about these corners and how to defend that. And it was a terrific goal on Finley's part. He got across the defender and really got up and flicked that one right past Ryan Thompson. He could get his hands up, but couldn't knock it over.
Here's the replay, and a fading header, in fact, by Finley, who was running to the outside.
Which is really where you want to put that when you're coming across near post. As we see him, he's standing there, and he beats Anthony Arena on it, and it goes over to the far post. I mean, that's where you want it. I mean, terrific ball by Ryan Finley. Tough one to beat too. I mean, because you have a step across Anthony Arena, and that's a tough one for the Hounds.
85th minute goal. Finley will get credit for it. It did appear that he was the one.
Well, we said that when they made the substitutions, they put some pretty dangerous players on the field and took the risk of going three in the back. The Hounds couldn't find a way to get that second one, and now we're tied, but there's still time left, Matt. And we can see if the Hounds can pull one out here.
And Charlotte's still playing down that one-man through ball.
And that's
dangerous one. Okiyama, and there's Thompson out to get it in. The Charlotte coaching staff wants a call. I don't know what they were looking for there, but Thompson came out and grabbed it cleanly at least. That's the one part of the play I had my eye on.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Chabrillo to Kerr. Played away from him. Nudum has it. And so a renewed urgency now and a 1-1 score. Finley with his team-leading 5th goal of the season. That's his specialty there, and the Riverhounds could not defend that corner kick. The third of this second half for the Independents, and the third one connects for them. Okiyama, Vincent.
The Browns have to see if they...
Over the top, that's onside. Kevin Kerr has an opportunity to create. Kerr, ambitious.
Amar Sumo wide open at the top of the box. Maybe Kevin, if he could have rolled that one back. I don't know if he saw him, but Sumo was there, and if he could roll that one back, Sumo had a great look on goal.
I believe this will be an Independence throw, as it stayed in. It did not go out over the end line. It's a deep throw for Charlotte, and we talked about Charlotte not settling for a tie, not playing for a tie on the road, but from the spot they were in, they will certainly take a point if they can get it. So you wonder if they're going to try to milk the clock here late.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to them. They played it perfectly to get the goal. They were looking for some things on the set piece, but they were also looking for some quick counters. And a quick counter resulted in the corner kick, which they scored on. And we said we actually did not drop off quick enough. They had 3 guys going over top, and we had to scramble for a corner, and they take advantage of it. So Charlotte played it very, very well. They went to 3 in the back. They brought in a couple substitutes up front with Calvert and Finley, and were able to give us some difficulty and some problems. But again, there's still going to be some time left here.
Alvarez earns the assist. That's the second goal he's factored in on against the Hounds this year. He scored down at Winthrop University in the opening meeting. These teams will conclude the season series next week, but still time left to go in this one. Suma takes the give-and-go feed from Chabrillo, but the touch betrayed him. He had an edge, he had a step. If he could have kept that ball anywhere near his person as he got over the edge of the box and really appeared to have the seas part in front of him.
And with Miro Chabrillo's entrance into the game, they put Suma out into the midfield now. He was up high there for a little bit when he came on for Libo Moloto, and now Miro's up to his more familiar spot as that big target forward, and Robbie Vincent has then gone underneath him into the middle of the field as we see Suma chasing back here in the left midfield spot.
Jackson to Kalungi, high ball, chested by Dahlman to Ryan Thompson. So a late goal given up by the Hounds has knotted this one up. And once again, we anticipate a decent amount of stoppage time at least. Newnham spun around and no whistle.
No call there.
Tonight's attendance is
Back come Charlotte on the counter. Finley to Jackson, just inside the end line, and yet another corner kick for the Independents. Okioma couldn't keep it in.
The Riverhounds, thank you. This is a record for home attendance for a regular season match.
It has just been announced this is a regular season record attendance at Highmark Stadium.
Hopefully we can give this record crowd an exciting finish, but not here. We have to clear this one out.
Alvarez will take it again.
Alert with this.
There will be a minimum of 3 minutes.
3 minute stoppage. That one's an easy clear for Chabrillo. And here in the 91st minute, there's a back heel flick to Suma from Kerr. Amara Suma spins it across the field to Vincent, the man you want with the ball right now. For Kerr, can he get there in time? Could not. Bumped the man off the ball enough. And so the Independents moving back with it. And there is a foul called on Okioma. Just about a minute and a half left, I would estimate.
Yeah. Charlotte taking their time,
as you would expect.
Oh, there's a run.
Open man coming toward it. That was Alvarez.
Alvarez got right behind Matty Dahlman, who
another saving tackle, saving play.
Recovery, but he got caught a little bit, but Alvarez went flying by him. But Dahlman's so quick. Terrific recovery to clear that one away.
He's looking very healthy. Good spring in those legs, Matt Dahlman.
Yeah, terrific turn to get back on that one.
Chabrillo won the ball. This could be the last opportunity for the Riverhounds. Newnham pokes it away to keep it alive. Suma turning. Amara Suma hits and
foul.
knocked to the pitch. That'll be a free kick, Riverhounds. And this is the opportunity they were looking for to perhaps steal 3 points.
I mean, you got Robbie Vincent on the ball here. As we see the replay, yeah, Suma gets it, yeah, that's.
Vincent with assistant coach Nico Cottage delivering instructions from the sideline. The fans stomping. They want the go-ahead goal. Vincent lifting it, dangerous ball, headed over the net. Headed there was Chabrillo. He may have been the last or the only Hound to get in there and get a touch to it. Tough to tell. There were so many blue and black jerseys in that spot.
It was quite a crowd, and a dangerous one by Robbie Vincent. That's kind of where you want it.
A lovely weighted ball from Vincent.
Yeah.
Arena, actually.
Anthony Arena.
The back of his head.
Yeah. And the Hounds had several players in there on that one. Looked pretty dangerous.
There's the final whistle. One last aerial battle. Hunt wins it, but the Riverhounds and the Independents will play to a 1-1 draw at Highmark Stadium. So the Hounds win, or pardon me, their unbeaten streak stretches to 3. They cannot make it a 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Independents keep carrying on 2-0-4 in their last 6. And with efforts like what we saw here late in that second half, down a body, the Independents still rallied back. And off that set piece, that's a dangerous spot. And the third corner of the second half resulted in the lone goal for Charlotte tonight. Where does this one stack up for you in terms of some of the ones that the Hounds have had get away from them late? It doesn't feel as, I guess, maybe not as heartbreaking as some in the past, but at the same time, even though it was a great goal, you do have to wonder why they couldn't convert it into a victory.
Yeah, it's certainly not as heartbreaking as the loss in Harrisburg a few weeks ago, but at home, as we said, you really got to pick up these 3 points. The Riverhounds needed these 3 points. Charlotte has a couple games in hand. The Riverhounds are going to see a lot on the road now, so they certainly needed it. They wanted this victory. I'm sure this was something that they're going to feel they let slip away, because we completely, you had the lead for most of the game. You're up a man. You know that set pieces, corner kicks are going to be very, very vital to the play, and you have to defend those. But again, to Charlotte's credit, it was a terrific goal on Finley's part. He got across Anthony Arena, and he put it in a spot where Ryan Thompson could not get it. I think the failing, Matt, is that we could have done better maybe to perhaps get that second goal. And if we get that second goal, then the game is pretty much sealed up. And we couldn't get it, and you just had that feeling with the people that Charlotte had in the box that they were always going to be dangerous to the very last whistle.
And they were, with Finley checking in and scoring his team-leading 5th goal of the season. And I think what you said there right at the beginning of your response there, Gene, is the tough part, because the Hounds do go to the road now for their final 6. So this was the chance. If you were going to get the 3 points, you had a lead in the second half and could not convert it into the 3 points. So the Riverhounds will move to 9, 8, and 5 on the year for those ties coming here at Highmark Stadium, and 3 of them, just like what we saw, in fact, with late goals by the visiting team. So that's a difficult trend. That's an unsavory trend for the Riverhounds. Still with 6 matches left, still in playoff position, but they're unable to leap up the table like they could have if they would have prevailed here this evening.
It's an opportunity lost, isn't it, to pick up 3 there, to push Charlotte back a little bit further and push them into that 4th spot to get a home playoff game. And it's tough to get 3 on the road, and they're going to have to go to Charlotte. Charlotte's going to be certainly geared up for that one, considering that they feel that maybe they had a unnecessary ejection and had to play short the whole game. So they have to come out of this with a lot of confidence, knowing that for really about 50 minutes or so they played a man down and actually did very well.
Here are your game highlights. This is from the first half. That was the early opportunity for Dominic
There's
Baggi.
a terrific goal by Lebo Maloto, one of the best we've seen this year.
And one of his better games, even though he had, I say, just the one goal, but he came off a 1-goal, 2-assist performance at Toronto, followed it up, consolidated it with yet another excellent evening at Highmark Stadium. Eager to talk to him afterward and see what he thought went right this evening. Maloto here, unselfish to Kerr, who couldn't connect on maybe a give and go, maybe a shot toward the near side post.
I think that was one of those ones you're going for the far post and hoping that, maybe if it doesn't go in, somebody's going to get on the end of it.
Thompson, look at that great replay.
Yeah, good second save from Ryan.
For the most part, he handled the balls that came his way. Only one he really couldn't was the eventual goal here, which we're going to take a look at.
Yeah, that might have even been off the shoulder of Arena.
Could have been an own goal.
Yeah. So it's just, that's a heartbreaker.
85th minute and one final chance.
Final shot, Anthony Arena.
Vincent serving it in, Arena sliding through. But he could not get it home, and soon after that, the final whistle sounded, and that is your final score. Charlotte 1 and Pittsburgh 1. Next time we'll talk to you will be in 2 weeks, September the 5th. It'll be September very soon. Charleston Battery coming in. The Hounds fell 3-1 early in the season down there in South Carolina. The Battery, one of the Hounds' longtime rivals in this league in its many forms, will pay its return visit here. But in the meantime here, Gene, a visit to Charlotte, and then at Louisville City, another team that's in the playoff zone in the Eastern Conference. This is going to be a difficult 2 weeks, and I think the Hounds have to hope they stay where they are.
Yeah, and the
after
2 home
2 weeks.
games against Charleston Battery and Rochester Rhinos, two of the top teams in the league. It's a tough stretch, and even the other 2 away games, of course, Harrisburg, which we've seen some crazy stuff happen there, and Wilmington at the bottom of the table, but tough place to play in Wilmington. So it's a tough stretch for the Hounds. They certainly have the ability to come away with a lot of points there and finish the season strong. Confident they will, but I think they're going to be disappointed that they didn't get 3 points here tonight.
So the tie, the split points, but the Hounds may be feeling like that they could have and should have gotten better. Thank you to everyone who watched this evening. Thanks to Chris DeVivo and John Powell for helping produce the broadcast each and every week here from Highmark Stadium. As we mentioned, we'll be back with you in 3 weeks. September the 5th, 7 o'clock start against the Charleston Battery. If you can't be here at Highmark, then we hope you join the fun on riverhounds.com and youtube.com/USL. For Gene Klein, this is Matt Geica saying good night from the south side of Pittsburgh.
Good night.